με την περιγραφή του σεμινάριου στα ελληνικά. Συγγνώμη, στα αγγλικά. So this is following the first webinar, which revolved around the theoretical value of use of VR in education. This webinar aims to offer a more hands-on analysis of embedding virtual reality applications in educational courses. More specifically, emphasis will be given on the process of selecting apps prior to the commencement of courses and on how the instructors relate the content of the apps with curriculum materials and pedagogically harness the educational possibilities of these tools as a way of increasing learners' interaction and engagement with the lessons. With us, we have Dimitris Voglou, leading Cutting Edge and part of the learning network of the Cyprus University of Technology, and Maria Christoforou, special teaching staff of the Language Center of the Cyprus University of Technology. Thank you.
I would also like to introduce Dimitris Giannakoulis, who is also like the director of the Xanthis Tech Lab in American Space in Xanthi, Greece.
Okay, shall we start?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Marlon, for the introduction. I would like to welcome you all to our second webinar. Actually, the conditions of the pandemic have given us the opportunity to engage into these webinars, which are very helpful because we get to share what we do with the rest of the world, and we get to have feedback and very useful advice and recommendations concerning our practice and exchange ideas, of course. So let's begin. I will share my screen with you right now. Okay. All right, this is the cover of the presentation. Now, a very brief overview of the contents. We are going to briefly explain why somebody, an educator, an instructor, should use VR in an educational environment, and explain briefly how we select an application. And we're going to move on to the more practical aspect of the webinar, where we're going to introduce the applications themselves. We're going to show you 4 applications and then end with the conclusions. And of course, that's when you will also have the chance to ask anything or any clarifications, and feel free to ask anything if you feel, you know, you have a question that needs to be answered. Now, why should we use VR in an educational environment? First of all, VR is a sophisticated, innovative technological tool. Now, these days, as I said a little while ago, with the pandemic, this has brought, you know, all sorts of digital literacies together, right? So students engage with various tools, all right? They collaborate, they engage in various practices, all right? But this is not just a digital tool. They create content, yes, they understand, but it's also a tool that gets them, it's not just a multimodal tool. They become part of the content. They enter the content, okay? So it's something more than just a digital tool. In terms of interaction, of course, it goes without saying that they interact with what they are learning, okay, because it comes alive. It's authentic, it provides authenticity, because VR gives them the chance to do training under authentic conditions, learn a language under authentic conditions, speak with a local person. So it provides opportunities for authentic learning. And of course, motivation. Well, they become more engaged, more interested. They don't, you know, follow the conventional, let's say, it's not the conventional way of learning. It's more motivating and interactive and interesting. So the selection of applications, at this point, we should say that VR does not substitute, all the means of the other means that, that we use, the other media that we use when we want to present, content to our students. Okay, it's supplementary. So when we decide on an app, the first thing that we do, we personally try it out ourselves. So we spend a long time, working and trying to figure out how the app works to teach it to our students. So we personally try the app ourselves, okay? And of course, we relate it to the lesson content. So I think teachers in general, the first thing they do is they see whether, the app relates to what they have to teach. Okay, so for us, for example, for me and like for Dimitris, we teach English for specific purposes. So it's more specialized English, okay? Definitely there is a plethora of applications out there to, supplement and enhance the content. Another way is looking at the reviews on the Steam platform, which is an online gaming platform that offers an abundance of apps, relating to the topic, okay, to the theme. So it can be about medicine, it can be about business. It can also be entertaining, for entertainment purposes. Now for YouTube videos, I think that's the last thing that we do, and Dimitris can correct me. I think looking at YouTube videos, I think personally experiencing with the app is the most important thing. The YouTube video comes last. And I should also say that we also try to place what we do within, like a theoretical framework. There are many theoretical frameworks out there in terms of research, but if you want to do research, that's a different thing. If you want to just, engage your students with the app so that they can interact with the lesson, that's another thing. But, there are various theoretical frameworks like the Retain model maybe, but that's for serious games. So it's not exclusively for VR, but some elements can be applied like immersion, adaptation, many elements, okay? Now, let's move on to the practical part of the webinar. The first application we're going to see is called Dreams of Dali. And it was used in my course, English for Fine Arts. I have been teaching this course for 3 years now. You can see here the original painting, okay, which is called The Angelus by Jean-Francois Millet. He's a French painter. The painting was made in 1859. Now, students, of course, they do English for Fine Arts with me, and I'm sure it goes without saying that they do have some knowledge, and they set the foundations, in other courses as well, like the history of art and everything. So they have some background, even though they are first-year students. Now, for the important thing here is not to understand how the painting is made or what the painter was feeling. It's just we're looking at some, general aspects and elements. For example, students get to see, for example, that the two peasants here, they are, their body posture, it's as if they're praying, okay? So basically what happened was Salvador Dali reproduced the painting in 1934. And this is where our contribution comes in. Salvador Dali was one of the most influential surrealist paintings, okay? So what we do here is, trying to show the students, for example, some of the elements of surrealism, okay? We study that in our course. Okay, and you can see the painting retains some of the original elements, like you have the two figures, okay, but they are completely different because these are figures, mythical figures, okay? They are not persons. Now I'm going to show you how the app looks so that you can see, all right, what the students see when they try out the app itself. Okay, let me just, no, wait, it's, okay, here. All right. Once they wear the goggles, okay, and we do some training in advance, you know, with the cutting edge staff, like everybody who works there, they are all very helpful, you know, trying to orientate the students, you know, into the app. You can see there is this landscape. The elements of Dali's painting are there, all right? So it's different from the original painting. It's illogical in a way. It's more dreamlike. So these are the elements of surrealism. So what happens is that students interact with the content in the sense that they live through the movement itself, okay? They see the elements as they are, okay? They come alive. Some figures are distorted, some of them are not, some of them are strange. They are enigmatic, you know, elements. So you get to understand, okay, and maybe it's like a pun, but it's visual. It's like an enigma. So you have to figure out what's going on, like in a painting, okay? So here, for example, if you're afraid of heights, you have to be very careful when you look down, okay? So students see the figures, all right? But they enter the figures themselves. Now, Dali, of course, because he brought out his own unconscious into this, he believed that this is about sexual repression, all right? So for him, this was an update to the painting, okay? He extended the whole idea, all right? For us, this might be just another application or something strange, but for students themselves who study this, who study, you know, the movements and who study art, this is precious. It's a precious experience. And you can see there the controllers, the joysticks, okay? So students can control their whole experience. And these are the different elements. So basically, it's as if the unconscious reveals itself, all right? And I don't know if you've noticed at the beginning, the two figures, again, the female one was more dominant than the male one. Let me just take it back. I would like to show you, oh, let me just pause it here. Okay, the female one is the one on the right. It's more dominant because Dali himself was afraid of female sexuality, okay? So he believed that it was dangerous. So you see the man he bows in a way, just like the original painting, but you can see that this has a completely, you know, different interpretation. All right. So let me just show you this. This is taken from the Museum of Dali, the Salvador Dali Museum. It says, enjoy the remarkable marriage of art and technology in Dreams of Dali, a virtual reality experience as you explore Dali's painting, archaeological reminiscence of Millet's Angelus. Immerse yourself in the world of the surrealist master like never before in this encounter, venturing to the towers, peering from them to distant lands, and discovering surprises around every corner. We imagine Dali himself, known in his lifetime as what we now call an earlier adopter of new technology, would applaud this inspiring homage to his 1935 painting. So students get to experience the application at, the university premises without going to the Salvador Dali Museum. Of course, that would have been great. Okay, we encourage students to travel and, do things that are related to their studies. But right now, especially now with the pandemic, it's very difficult. Not only this, but the Salvador Dali Museum itself promoted this. Okay, so visitors had the chance to experience this at the museum premises. So this is what, instructors can do when they want to help their students. Okay. Now we're moving on to the second application, which is called ShareCare VR. Now you can see here in the picture, this is a photo I took. So that's the handwriting, that's my handwriting there. I tried to find a picture without my handwriting, but I couldn't. So I took a photo from my book. But you can see that this is the heart, the human heart, with the different parts. Okay, as an organ, it has various parts that the students have to learn. All right. Now, what we see here is that the content is static. Okay, this is something that the students see when they flip through the pages. Okay, and when the time comes for them to do the human heart, this is what they see. Okay, so they basically fill in the gaps. All right, and they look at the colored picture, and that's it. All right, this is the course English for Nursing. Okay, and let's see how this can actually get transformed into something more interactive. Again, I have to, okay, first of all, this is the application right at the beginning. Once you wear the goggles, this is what you see. Okay. Different body parts. You can actually choose, the body part that you would like to explore. All right. The colon, the brain, that's the human skeleton. And the menu there, which says organs and systems, it gives you the chance here. Oh, no, let me just take it back. Here you see, it gives you the chance to write something if you want and take a picture. All right. So it's very interactive. Okay. So basically it's a 3D model of the human body. Okay. So now, oh, let me just see. Yes, you click on the labels. I will try to, I have the, the exact. This is the brain. So what is interesting is that, medical experts, doctors, not just educational, instructors, everybody, like a team of experts, gathered together to actually make an application like this. All right. The content comes alive, and basically what you do, you get to see the accurate simulations of the organs in their healthy conditions, and in the non-healthy condition, depending, of course, on the severity. Okay, whether something has been dysfunctional. Okay, so here it says organs and systems. So you choose basically the organ that you would like to explore. Now I'm going to take you to Yeah, it says healthy condition because this provides only the healthy condition. I think now no, that's the liver. I'm going to take you to the heart. Let me just show it to you here. All right. Okay. So you see, we have the chance to click on the heart. You see healthy, arrhythmia, aortic stenosis. So basically, this is the heart. So compare this, okay, to what we saw before on the page. Completely different, okay? So you customize the disease based on what you want to see. So you do realize that students find this very, very interesting. You understand the content. You become the text yourself because everything is a text, okay? The video is a text. Everything is a text. So you become part of the content. You, in a way, you manipulate the content, okay? And no, I'm trying to here, like, to give you the chance to see how, you know, it works. You control the application. Of course, this requires a lot of coordination and training. Now, what happened here is that we entered the heart, okay? We don't just see it. This is inside the heart, okay? There is also sound, okay, which was not, it wasn't possible for us to record the sound here, but when you experience the application, there is sound.
I mean, you, just to interrupt very quick, you can actually increase the heartbeat.
Yes.
You can hear the heartbeat, and you can increase it all the way to getting all the way to a heart attack. So I mean, it's just an amazing application, and it's fully immersed, and that's what brings it alive, actually.
Yes. And of course, it requires, you know, a lot of time to realize the potential of the application. Right now, we're just showing some clips, you know, like in 1 or 2 minutes. All right, but depending on what you want to see, to simulate the condition, you know, the healthy condition, the serious condition. Here, you see that the heart is not functioning very well. All right, so there is heart failure. The potential of the application is, you know, amazing. So it requires a lot of time. And sometimes, you know, like when I used it in my course, students wanted to, you know, like they wanted to try the application like again and again, but it wasn't possible, you know. So they either, you know, like if you want to show some, depending on what you want to do with the application, basically, you can actually, you know, set hours after the lesson with the students, or you can just settle, you know, for what you have there during class hours, depending on, of course, on your goals and on the lesson goals. Okay. It's an amazing application. All right. Now, Dimitris, you can continue. We can't hear you. Are you muted? Oh, okay.
Now we're going to follow up with something called actually the electrical substation VR training for electricians. I teach also ESP, and I teach electrical engineers. and it's quite difficult to have access to various real life situations. And pretty much it's kind of difficult for students to walk into such places. So I was looking at the internet. I mean, I was looking through Steam in order to find an application that will enable some of my students to walk through such a substation. And we found one, which is actually the VR application HV, Electrical Substation VR Training for Electricians. Okay, we use that application in English for Electrical Engineering. And it actually provided the opportunity for students to play with it, to walk through that in a safe environment and actually do a task. Now, if we go to you're going to see the application itself, where students were actually, do you have the video?
I think it's not embedded here.
Okay, stop sharing so I can share the video.
Okay, all right.
All right, so. Allow me to share my screen now.
And I can answer Skevi's question until you find it. Skevi,
you
said the same application can be used to teach another language, right? I'm referring to the Skevi. Can you please specify the app? Was it the Dreams of DALL-E?
Yes, Maria.
To teach another language. You mean that if you want to introduce this application to your students and explain it in Greek?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes, you can do that, because actually that application, it's mostly about the experience that the students are going to have when they enter, okay, the world and the mind of Salvador Dali. All right, the vocabulary, it's basically up to you what you're going to relate it to your content, you know. That's what I did, because we did the theory on art movements before, and then I introduced the application. So it came basically after the introduction to the theory. Yes, that's the good thing about it, but because it's mostly about the experience. It's like, you know, like in all fields, basically, there are some people, you know, that have excelled, people that have influenced, you know, fields in general. So you study them, even in music, for example, or poets, or like here in this case, it's Dali, it's a painter. Yes, of course you can use it, and it's great, actually. My students loved it. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let me see the whole thing. All right, now, as Maria pointed out, that before we even go, here we go, before we even, enter VR, we do like we see pictures, we learn about the different parts, vocabulary is being taught, students learn about certain various aspects of electrical engineering in the target languages in English, and then they can go through that and practice them, and also see them in being fully immersed in a safe environment. In this case, it's going to be the station. Here we go. Now, so once you see, you have the option once you move in there, if you want to play training mode or actually observe, just like to play observe mode. So go back and forth for a second. Now, it tells you what's a training name. You put a training name in there, and then you're getting ready to interact with the application. And once you choose, it tells you like the mission is like a high voltage disconnector, okay, and how to do that particular task. I'm gonna go through that a little bit. Once you choose to start the task, as you can see here, you start getting the path. So with your application, you can see the path that is the arrow show you how to walk, and you start seeing all the equipment that's already in this particular park. As you can see, students can already recognize various parts of that particular station by not even being in real life. This was, once you're fully immersed though, in that particular app, you actually walk through through those facilities and have real contact. And you'll see how that works. Jesus. Okay. You have to watch how to do that. So you just follow the path. And through following the path, you see this various equipment on the left and on the right. You got 360 degrees ability. At that time, if you would like students, to name some of them, you can ask them, and they can hear you, and they can provide you with the correct answers. Go a little bit further front. Here you can see, you can follow the path, and you can start observing the various equipment that is there. All right. Now you're getting to your task. As you can see, there's a circle, and now you have to interact with that facility in order to fix the arrow. It's a very simple app. Don't expect much about it. Okay, if you try, it's about 2-minute app that you walk through that in order to understand and see all the equipment and interact with a very simple arrow. It always tells you how to fix the arrow and what to do. Go a bit further front. Oh. So, yes.
If I may add, because there are applications, not just for electrical engineers, but also for chemical engineers. Okay, and I would also like to add here that, okay, maybe it's very simple, yes, but, this is an English course, right? In our case, for example, so they interact with the language and they see that, like the different steps, they need to follow, which is something that we do in our lessons. We do process writing, for example. Okay, so instead of asking them to, write down on a piece of paper, what the process is about, entering this factory or this facility, or it could be any place, okay, they get to live it, experience it, and then come back and reflect on it. So it involves many pedagogical, because above all, it's something pedagogical. Okay, this is something that they will experience on later when they get their degree, or maybe during the time they do their internship, right? So it's a specific community they need to enter as students or future workers. So it gives them the chance to practice their English and also understand what this is about, enter a community and apply the knowledge into practice.
Well,
so
it's like, the accessibility, like that's a thing. Like, how do you take students to see those particular facilities and equipment anywhere? Because access is like restricted. Therefore, virtual reality will allow us to do that. And in this specific place, we used that one in order to give students an overview. Now, like Maria pointed out, it doesn't matter what app you use. What's the aim of the app? It's like you decide to scaffold it accordingly to your needs. And that's the main part. Okay. So in this case, this app is very simple. Okay. But more and more apps are coming out, which allows you to give you additional access to various other places, which is hard to get. Okay. And at the same time allows you to immerse yourself and have some hands-on experience, which in this case, it's a very simple one, but like Maria said, there are many, many other virtual reality applications coming out. Auto mechanic is a very big one, but the biggest part of the virtual reality application community is actually the medical. Medical application are just amazing. So anyway, I'm going to continue with that one a little bit. So one student went through that. The problem is like you have one student at a time going through this particular application. And once they familiarize themselves with the facilities, they go back and write about the experience, about the sequence, or a cause and effect, what would happen, for example, when you fix that error or not. And it took us pretty much, let's say about 5 to 6 minutes for each student. You got 20 students, so it takes you a long time to do that. But it's fully immersed, and therefore it's very easy to do. It's very simple. You don't have much to explain when it comes to that particular application. And you end up, once you complete your task, okay, it even gives you like different kind of solution, how to fix that particular errors. You complete the task and you exit that application. Now,
Okay.
stop
Now,
this
I'm going to
very quickly.
share this before, like continue where we left off. Now, the last application we're going to show is
right.
Google Earth.
Now with the last application, it's gonna be, this one we're gonna do live. With all the other applications, we had all the videos. In order to capture the videos, I had to wear the mask and we were recording just to be on the safe side, so we can have to show you something. Now Google Earth, this is a part now that we're gonna stop sharing and we're gonna do it live. So you see all the different steps that need to be taken in order to enter Google Earth, and I can tell you how you can use Google Earth. We can use it like for geology, geography, history, architecture, anything you would like to use that particular app. It's very detailed. So let's try to set it up. Give us like 2 minutes to set it up. Maria, stop sharing now so we can introduce. Yes, hold on. Now we got a students change of.
Of course, if there are any questions or if there's something you would like to ask, feel free, or if you have any comments on something that we've shown. As you know, as Dimitri said, there is a wide range of medical applications. Applications on engineering are more limited, more narrow. I think this has to do with the fact that medicine involves, like, of course, engineering also have a lot of subcategories, but maybe they invest more money on medical applications, language applications as well. We also worked on Mondly. We experienced some problems with Mondly, but maybe in another webinar, Dimitris, we can show them Mondly also. We can't hear you.
All right.
Oh, yes, now we can.
All right, you can see me. All right.
Yes.
This is the first thing. You see that? So this is the mask that we're gonna wear. Due to COVID, we're required to wear a mask. Okay, just to protect ourselves for all this equipment. So that's the way it's gonna work. This is the first thing we're putting on that. So the mask. Now this one, what we're gonna put on now is the HTC Vive Cosmos. All right, you should be able soon to see. There you go. Let me tie it down. If you don't have hair, it's a little bit more difficult to straighten it down. And okay. Can you hear me? We just checked that sound check to see if you guys can hear us actually. No, yet? All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you perfectly. Perfectly
Yeah.
clear.
그때보다 마이크 켤수 있어. 난 하고 있어.
No, we can hear you.
잠깐만.
Tapi dah segini tu apa tu? Eh? Okay. All right. So can you hear me? Yes, no? So just make sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Good.
Yes.
All right. Just like before I start, because at the moment you should be able to see like mountains and other stuff, right? So as you see, like we're at the moment in Mariposa County. You can see like the menus and stuff like that. Is that what they're seeing, Costadinos? Okay, Mariposa Country. You see the earth, and we're gonna go see like, let's say we're gonna go to New York. You see the architecture, and we also later on gonna go to see some geological areas and how to use that particular areas left and right. So now you can pick your point where you want to go to right here, Gulf of Mississippi, Jasper, Alabama, or whatever. It takes you straight up there. Now you think like you're in a plane somewhere, all right? Or you go further up. And we're gonna go to New York City. Now you can see the world from all around, and you can pull around the world to see where would you like to travel or what would you like to see. Okay, you got the continent of Africa, and at the same time, of course, you have the universe, if they're interested in that, with the sun and the Milky Way out there. We're just gonna focus ourselves at the moment on the continent, on Earth, and we're gonna go right here to New York City to see like various things. All right, fly into. Too far away. Okay. Rhode Island, New Jersey, and now we got New York City. Now, once you get to New York, you can start seeing, it depends how you want to do that. As you can see, various buildings, markets, architecture. I'm not gonna be able to, hold on a second. Rotate. Turn down. Oops. Hold on a second. All right. All right. Now, some of you have been to New York City, and we're gonna walk over New York City a little bit. And what you would like to do with that, it's up to you. What's the purpose of using Google Earth? Well, it depends. Some people would like to use it for architecture. Some other people like to use it for geography. Some other people just like to use it for some travel. Whatever you would like to do about it, it is your aim, whatever your aim and your goals are, is actually to scaffold that particular tool accordingly. Let's say we do the architecture part. When you do the architecture, we arrive to New York and you see the various buildings. You got skyscrapers, like for example, this one in front of us. Let's go a bit closer, turn it up. All right. Which is like the Empire State Building. Okay, and all these other new buildings that exists here in New York. We have, if I turn around a little bit, okay, you can see Queens is over there. You can see the United Nations, which is right here. And then when you turn around, you have to turn very slowly so you don't get dizzy. We can see Lower Manhattan, okay, with the various new building. As you can see, this is like inputs like that. And this is a very famous, as you can see now, subway station, the Oculus right here. Okay, the Memorial Park and everything else. You go very close up to the buildings and start looking how are they built and everything else. Of course, you can actually go straight down to the streets from street view, and let's see, let's find a better street to go up where we would like to go. Okay, I'm gonna walk a little bit later on into the street view. This is the other side. You can see right here. This is New Jersey. It says New Jersey City, and also you can go like if you want to see like right here. There you go. It's the Statue of Liberty. If you care about that, and some of you are engineers, and we're gonna start looking into bridging for bridge engineers. If you like to scaffold that particular app accordingly in order to study bridges, then you can start with one of the most famous iconic bridges, which is like, for example, the Brooklyn Bridge. Okay, as you can see how it's built. This is Brooklyn Bridge, very iconic bridges. And the second most iconic bridge that you would like to see here is a Manhattan Bridge, which is this one right here. And now we're gonna go down to see one of the most famous, let me see, landscapes that you see in a lot of movies right here. And if you look to the left, okay, now in the middle of the street, you can see, if you watch a lot of a lot of movies, gangster movies and other stuff, then this is a very iconic picture that you can see. All right. You can walk if you want to. Sometimes you can walk a little bit. It takes a longer time. And you can enter out. You can exit the picture. Now, if you, hold on a sec. Good morning. No, we don't want that. That's the wrong button. All right. Oh, oops. I'm gonna fall down. All right. Let's say you want to study geology. If you're gonna go geology, you go further out. And let's say we're gonna go to Grand Canyon. Should be right here somewhere. All right, here's Arizona. Let's find the Grand Canyon, Nevada up there. Utah, here you go, close enough. There's the various areas you can visit, and you can go very close even to look at various formation and observe rock formations, rivers in the Grand Canyon, and anything you would like to see. As I mentioned before, it's like, it is up to you. What would you like to do with this particular app? You decide what aims you have, what needs you have, and it's very simple to use, and it shouldn't take you too long to learn how to navigate these apps. So I'm gonna exit now. All right, so give it back to Maria, and Maria can conclude. All right.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you for taking us to New York, Dimitris. It's been a pleasure. Okay. So basically concluding, we would like to say that virtual reality actually transforms the lesson experience. And of course, as we've said, and as you've seen, students interact with the lesson content. However, app implementation can be a time-consuming process, and constant update on latest apps is needed. So you you need to be alert, okay? So you need to familiarize yourself with what is out there, constantly, do your homework, and and look for different apps and ways of making the lesson more interactive, okay? We have all of these tools available, and here at Cutting Edge, we're very lucky because we have equipment which otherwise would have been very difficult to obtain. So it's actually like VR gives us the opportunity to make our lessons more engaging and interesting. And this is something that we all gain, you know, we all gain a lot. And this is an experience that we all enjoy, students and teachers alike.
I got dizzy, so I hope I didn't get you too much dizzy. So it was a little bit.
So we would like to thank you very much for watching our webinar. And feel free to ask any questions, and these are our contact details. You can contact us for any clarifications or opportunities for professional, let's say, collaborations. Let's check the messages. Oh, okay. So actually, people are just thanking us. No, we thank you back. Thank you for attending. Thank you very much. So that's it, basically.
Okay.
So,
You're welcome to stop by the Cutting Edge or you make an appointment so we can actually show you or even train you how to use high immersive virtual reality equipment, how to choose various apps. With the pandemic, we won't be able to, allow maybe 1 or 2 people to come here so we can train them and show them. We have various VR applications available and various VR equipment. And we have ordered some more equipment in order for you guys to be training or trying them out before you decide to implement that particular tool in your classes or for training purposes or for academic purposes. It's pretty much up to you. Okay, so virtual reality technology is evolving quite quickly. The pandemic has helped this kind of process. So you got to be careful which one to buy, read about it, test them. We'll try to have as many as possible available, as possible in order for you to come and try them out. Okay, so.
Dimitris?
Yes.
There is one question from Pandelitsa Leonidou,
Yes,
in which she asks about an open source or free software that someone can use to develop a VR environment that you already used and recommend, and how easy,
okay,
yes, it is to use it as a beginner with CS background, available tutorials, documentation, etc.
At first, to answer the question, we did not create any of this. Okay, we are English language instructors, and we are using education technology in order to enhance our classes. Therefore, we did not create any of that. Okay, we're looking through ready apps. That's why what Maria said before, we are reading them, trying them out, adjust them according to what we need to cover our needs. So I cannot help you on that. I cannot help you on that because we did not create it. We are not programmers, software programmers. So we have some students that have worked with that, and some students have been working here, but I've never created anything with them. So I have to disappoint you.
No, actually, what I suggested, because as Dimitri said, we're not, we don't have any like computer science background. Depending if it's something very, very, very simple, what I suggested was that Pandelitsa could search online for the creation of 360 videos, maybe look at some tutorials. It's a very
360 videos is easy. Yeah. It's not very difficult, but the virtual reality and stuff like that, the whole background, I have never done it before, so I got to disappoint you. However, using virtual reality as an equipment, it's not very difficult at all. I mean, in 5 maybe like 10, 20 minutes to get used to the whole environment. Being immersed in the virtual reality surroundings, that might be the most difficult part, because it depends on latency and everything else, the technology that surrounds virtual reality. If you're gonna get dizzy or not, like for example, Google Earth, if I've moved too fast, at some point I got dizzy. Okay, so, but otherwise using it, it's quite simple. For a beginner, I don't think it's very difficult at all. If that answered your question. I gotta disappoint you with the software part. Did that answer your question, Bandelica?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I was just wondering if there is, I mean, if you can use those applications and embed your own text or your own, I mean, is there any chance to do that, or you can just use the application as it is?
Okay, I think like the application as it is, they're pretty much closed because we're buying them. Now, once we record them, okay, some of my students actually use, which one do you use in order to record? Video. Which one do you use? Premiere, yeah. They do with Premiere to add whatever they want on, because that's how they used to do the 360 part. 360 videos, whatever to add on it with Premiere would be the best one to do. Okay. So there is actually on the Learning Network a video with 360 that these guys have done it, and they did everything with Premiere. So that was it difficult? No, he said it was all right. It was easy to do that. Okay, so I don't know how familiar you are with Premiere, but I think you shouldn't have a problem doing that. But I don't think you can actually do something. I mean, like when you buy like the application, that you actually can do something to it. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
Dimitris, I would like to apologize for the spelling mistake. Your surname there, Boglu, there's an L missing, okay?
That's okay, it's a booger.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? More than happy. I mean, question is one thing, coming here and try them out is another thing. I think hands-on will answer all your questions, okay? However, the theory, you need to prepare your students with the theory. You need to provide them the surroundings to prepare them. And then, as I told you before, you are the ones who have to scaffold that particular app to cover your needs. What do you need it for? Okay. Now, the electrical engineering app, okay, you can use it like for, let's say, a minute. What are you going to do afterwards? That's it. So you just give them this experience. Now, with ShareCare, you can spend 30, 40 minutes in there. Okay. It's a big app. It offers you like hundreds of different opportunities to do. So you got to be clear, what would you like to do? Okay, so that's from the beginning. Any other questions that you would like us to answer? No. Well, I guess we can close here, Maria.
Yes, of course. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. And we will see you all very soon.
And if you like to stop by and try it out, please send us an email and we're going to set you up for a trial run. Okay, but you're going to have to wear the mask, the Zorro mask, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so we're looking forward to welcoming you here and helping you in academic and also like in a practical matter, however you want to do with virtual reality. All right, I guess we can close here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. Εφη, εύχομαι να σ' άρεσε εκεί πέρα στα Ιωάννινα. Έφη, μ' ακούς, εύχομαι να σου άρεσε και να σε ξαναδούμε σε μια άλλη παρουσίαση, αν ή κάτι που μπορούμε να καλύψουμε βασικά.